welcome back. So today what we're doing is we're going to be reviewing this 2000 Suzuki SV650s. Now, I've always liked the SV platform and that particular V-twin. I think it sounds absolutely fantastic. I did collect this with a friend last night. It's his bike, and I rode it home nearly 200 miles from Dublin, so I got a good feel from it. It isn't a first ride due to that, but it's not far off a first ride either. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out on the road, and I'll go through everything I like and dislike about the bike. Okay, so we are out on the road and we're going to get right into it. Ergonomics on this SV650s that is 20 years old. Surprisingly comfortable, actually. When I agreed to John that I'd bring this back for him, I honestly was concerned that I would have a very uncomfortable trip home, but the trip home was fine, and in fairness I was absolutely fine when I woke up today. I've been in more pain after long motorway spins off the Phaser than I was off this bike, so really and truly it is definitely a comfy bike for a big person, genuinely, and I'm not just saying that, it really is. And so, like I said, this isn't my normal first ride review. It's more of a kind of a I have ridden this quite a bit review. And honestly, I couldn't be more impressed with it. I really like the bike. Definitely one of the plus points is how wide the seat is for the ergos. The seat is really wide, and if you're a big fella like myself, that is excellent for, you know, your big wide arse to support your big wide body. Oh, this road is in crap today, wet-wise. It rained a lot yesterday. But anyway, right, so the bars, again, surprisingly comfortable. The clip-ons are positioning and everything for a big guy like myself. And if this is your first time to the channel, I'll put my own details up on screen now so you can compare, but I'm not a small man. And honestly, the bars are really good. Like, where they are, I'm quite comfortable. You know, it's not putting too much stress and strain on my shoulders or my back in order to reach them. So the body triangle is actually quite good, and it has, honestly, it's kind of put me in mind that I think I can get a Super Sports in future. Obviously this is not a Super Sports, but it is definitely a sportier seating position than the likes of the Phaser. Oh wow, that's a nice clean road there, isn't it? Oh man, welcome to Irish winter. So really and truly, I won't go into it too much, but the seat, a very comfortable seat. I genuinely think it's because of how wide it is, to be honest. Bars are comfy, all the controls are within easy reach and they're comfy, and you know, they're old, so they're simple. There's nothing new, fancy mode buttons, none of that stuff, no winders, anything like that. So really and truly, a beautiful setup in the cockpit. Cock. But even, you know, how it revs out, even that just adds to how comfortable the bike is. And I'm not joking, I would use this bike on the daily. In fact, I'd like to. It really is a nice machine. And you know, the pegs and everything else, if you don't like where they are, you can always get, you know, different rear sets. But actually, if you're a big guy, no need. This is, honestly, it's comfortable. I know that might sound unbelievable for a lot of people who see me on this bike, or if you ever see someone my size on an SV650, but genuinely comfortable. So that's kind of ergos, and what I'll say is surprisingly comfortable. Look, definitely not the ideal body position for a big fella, but also, or if you're a big lady, but also not the worst one. So yeah, definitely thumbs up from me. Can't complain. And that brings us on to power and torque, and as you can probably hear, I'm really enjoying myself with the down low torquiness of this bike. It's excellent. But the power is 72 horsepower max, and that's delivered at about 9,000 RPM. That's when it was new, so this one might be less. And the torque is, oh, just so nice. you have all that down low power, and the thing about it is it's really smooth the whole way through the rev range. And honestly, I can say that I gave it a good test on the motorway and everywhere else yesterday. This bike, it revs out really, really, really smoothly. I'm just so impressed, and that's probably due to the fact it is carbed. So there's 2 Mikuni carbs on this, and it just revs out so smooth on them. I've never actually ridden... Oh no, I have, yeah. The SV650 I rode previously to this one was the fuel injected model. Was a lot newer than this, and you know, had less mileage on it, but it still... Honestly, it wasn't as smooth. I don't even like using the higher gears in this bike because it's so much fun using the rev range on it, you know. And I think you can get lost in power figures as well. I've said it before, but for me, for this bike, you don't need the big power. You know, this bike is absolutely brilliant fun up until 120 kilometers an hour. After that, it does kind of get a little bit gaspy. You know, it definitely does need more if that's where you want it, up really high. But up until that point, it's absolutely fantastic. Whoa. Such a good road surface there too. So power and torque, you know, they're there, and they really suit the bike. Honestly, I think if there was too much extra power here, it'd nearly be uncomfortable. But this is it's just perfect. And it sounds fantastic with that Artican on there. Absolutely beautiful sounding exhaust. Beautiful sounding bike, beautiful sounding engine. So that's going to get us on to handling and braking. And honestly, the handling, this bike it's not heavy. It's 180 something kilograms wet, which honestly I'm not that much heavier than the bike. I'm not that much lighter than the bike. So in reality, that's it's pretty damn light wet weight for a bike. It's lighter than the Phaser, and it's a more sportier stance than the Phaser. And the likes of that, you can tell. You really, really know that this is a sportier setup, because yesterday I did use a good chunk of that back tire, and like at no point did I feel like I was leaning too far on the bike. It was always very comfortable. You know, at no point did I feel like I was using the limit of what the bike could do. I was actually, how close I got to the edge, to be honest, when I saw it, I was nearly like, oh, I don't really like that. Just because, you know, you don't want to use the max of the bike, especially when it's not yours. So we're just going to do a quick brake test. That's front brake only. And there's plenty of braking there. It's nice and controlled, it's smooth. This particular bike, because it's 20 years old, could do with definitely a set of HEL braided brake lines, which I'm going to be purchasing for it and installing for John, the owner of this bike. Thanks, John, for letting me out on it. But other than that, really, the handling wise, the input from the bars is lovely. It's really controlled. The back brake is nice and controlled. So you just have a lot of feedback from the bike when you're riding it, which is it's kind of what you want. It really does ride so nice. And like you saw me earlier taking my hands off the bars, perfectly comfortable doing that. And that's all to do with how the bike is set up, you know, the frame of it. Everything else is just it's very predictable. That's how I should put it. It's a predictable bike on the road, which is very nice. It's just a really comfortable bike to ride on, and also to handle. Like, you have so much instant reaction. The only thing I would say, and this is again probably an age related thing, but when I was riding this yesterday, I did notice when you're swapping between right and left turns, I didn't get too many good twisties in yesterday. When swapping between, you know, right and left curves and whatnot, it was a little bit ponderous when it was moving direction. I think that's just because of you know, age-related stuff. I don't think that's something that, you know, will really affect the bike in the long term. It might even just be the fact the tires are a bit old or whatever else. But other than that, the brakes are really, really good, and handling, it's lively. That's how I'll put it. It's a lively bike. It wants to move around. Now, obviously, I can't do too much on it today because the roads are still absolutely soaked after yesterday. But it's a lively bike. It's a flickable bike, and I think for all rider experience levels, this is a fun bike to ride. And handling wise, that's honestly the main thing I'd say. It's just fun. And when you're having fun, the fact that you have those good brakes, which is two 290mm discs up front, with Tokiko 2 caliper pistons, two piston calipers up front, and a single 240mm on the back, it really can stop. We'll do another brake test here. So this is front and back. Down from 60. Really, really controlled there. Really, really controlled. And that just goes to show, you know, if the bike is that smooth on the brakes, then that's smooth going. It's just a pleasure to ride it. And that's all I really have to say on handling and brakes. The brakes are really good for the bike's age. And genuinely, it's 20 years old. You can't do much better for 20 years old, in my opinion. And the handling as well, 20 years old. I know the SV platform hasn't changed a huge amount over the years, but the fact it's as good as it is really says a lot for Suzuki and how they built it back in the day, you know? So now I'm going to jump back to the garage for aesthetics.
Aesthetically, I really like this bike. I really like the frame. I think it's actually, I know a lot of people don't like this type of frame, but I do. And I also actually quite like the fairing. I know the fairing, obviously, look, it looks a bit bulbous, but I do like how it looks. Definitely could be better, could be prettier, but it looks nice. Front on, I really like this bike. I think it's very, very pretty. There we go, look. And definitely kind of a timeless design. From the back, there's not a whole pile to see, just kind of a standard motorcycle, to be honest. This is where I think this bike really comes to life. The cockpit, I love clip-ons. I think clip-ons just always look fantastic. You know, from your speedo, which I love analog speedos. Digital speedos are fine, but I much prefer analog. And then this lovely analog rev meter as well. There are some extra lights over here, you know, like your fuel warning light and stuff like that. But this, yeah, the cockpit design, definitely one of the plus points for me on the bike. And the wing mirrors actually fit in with the bike, which is unusual in this day and age. Oftentimes the wing mirrors are kind of one of the worst qualities. But definitely from a front-back kind of viewpoint, I think this is an absolutely gorgeous motor bicycle. Definitely one of the center points is the V-twin. There you have it. I think it looks nice. Obviously this one's a bit dirty because it is just back from Dublin. So overall, I think this is a really good looking bike. I kind of want one, to be honest, especially after riding it yesterday. But definitely, overall, I think it's a fairly timeless design. Look, it isn't the most beautiful bike in the world. It's never going to be the most beautiful bike in the world, but at the same time, this bike's 20 years old and it doesn't look out of place in a modern lineup. And if you're a tall rider, I don't think I look so bad on it. Obviously, I'm not the smallest guy in the world, but I think I fit okay.
The other thing I will say is cost, practicality and extras, right? So we'll get into extras first, and this is going to be extras, practicality and cost. Extras, there are none. It's an old bike. It's, you know, it's a 20-year-old bike. I've said that a few times. So there are really no extras to talk about. The only one I will say is you have this, you know, your hand choke, which is definitely a nice to have. The fact that is up there and not down somewhere else. No reserve on this tank. You just do have a fuel warning light, which I did make come on yesterday, so that was fun. And that's really about it extras wise. You know, you have your lights on and off switch. I actually prefer when they're on permanently, so let's see where we wire that up. Just for starting the bike, it's handy to have them off on this age group. Other extras that came with this one but aren't extras, and I'm including it as an extra just because it sounds so good, is the engine note. It is beautiful. And it is, a lot of that noise is engine, you know. There's an art can on this, but it's not all the can, it's the engine. Absolutely gorgeous engine note. Practicality, honestly, very practical bike. These are bulletproof. They're known to be bulletproof engines. Once you look after them and give them oil. Oh, more stones. I hate stones on bikes. Anyway, if I had a big rock crawler, I'm sure I'd love them. Yes, we're back to my favorite car park. Really impressed overall. You know, Practicality, like I said, I would use this every day. It is a practical bike. It's good on fuel. They're bulletproof, ultra reliable. Parts are cheap and plentiful, so you can't really go wrong there either. So yeah, definitely practical bike. Cost wise, this was, sorry John, it was sub €2,000. You can pick up Gen 1s and older Gen 2s for really good value. Absolutely brilliant bike. Like I can't stress enough what good value that is for a bike like this, in my opinion. So to finish it off, who's this bike for and would I buy it? I would buy this. I've actually told my buddy who owns it, if he ever wants to sell it, to let me know, because I want it. For myself, I would probably try to buy the SV1000, but that's just me, because you know I'm a dickhead. That's about it really. Who's this bike for? Everyone. Starters, definitely a starter friendly bike because you'll have it forever. More experienced riders could also definitely use this bike. I don't see any issue with that whatsoever. It'll last you a long time. As I said, bulletproof, lots of pieces to put onto them, lots of mods to do. It's just a bloody excellent bike, and I'm not taking off my helmet because it's really windy, by the way. So yeah, other than that, really good bike. I kind of in love with it, to be honest. Not kind of in love with it, I'm fully in love with it. I really enjoyed riding it yesterday. I really enjoyed riding it today. Yeah, that's about it really. So if you're looking for, you know, an SV650s, or even the N, the naked version, I wouldn't be put off by the age, provided they've been relatively looked after. I think you won't have any issues, such as this one. Yeah, just a really good bike. So thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see me try do more kind of retro bike reviews, let me know down in the comments. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like this. If you subscribe, it means I'll try do more of them. Yeah, so yeah, that's about it really for me. Thanks very much to John for letting me ride his bike and look after it for him. Yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Adios.